Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight high up here and the overnight low down here. These were our key levels for the day. So starting off, I started trading just past 8 Central Standard Time. So I started trading just around this area here. Now notice we have this push up, break. We get a first attempt at a new high, second attempt at a new high. And on that second attempt, that's really just forming the second bigger picture leg because you can clearly just zoom out and see that there's two legs up right there on a bigger picture. And excuse me, my voice is leaving me. So clearly we have two legs up there, but we also have this measured move in play. And so you'll often get two attempts to reach the measured move. Notice how after we get that leg up, the break, drag the measured move to there. We have uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, failure. So the point is these price action levels get bigger as more time goes on. Now, like I said, I started trading in this area here, still expecting a possibility of reaching this measured move, but we are clearly forming resistance. Now at first, I tried having it there, but it clearly pushed on through, finding resistance there. So I did extend it up to there, just much more clear, even at this point. And now, basically I didn't want to enter right into this resistance. It was just getting way too messy. It was trapped between this trend line and the overnight high. So it was really just a mess with nothing to take. We have this huge bar here. And if you don't have this trend line there, that might, someone might take that. But, you got to draw out these trend lines because it's clearly blocked and it formed a range as soon as we touched it, basically. And so, we did push out, and I drew this. I was open to something like this if we continued higher, like uptrend. And then we got this push out. I was thinking, we could get a couple attempts at a new high. And so, like, say we had uptrend, break, two clear attempts at a new high, retesting the overnight high. That could offer a great short right there. But we just don't get that. We continue on lower here. We attempt to push higher here. It's really just a first entry. I see there's, a tick lower there, but it's really just choppy. And then for one first entry right there before we get a second leg down. Now, I want to talk about this area here because so we have two legs down. Measured move is in play. When you come off one side of a range, you can expect to reach the other side. Now, you can see here that you have a leg up, break, and a second leg up. So, it looks like this. It looks like two legs up right here. And that is true. But you do have this downtrend right here. And it is still valid, but it did make a double bottom. And so there's kind of a conflict here. The first leg is still within it. It's still within this trend, and it's a double bottom. So it could be counted as two legs out from here since it's a double bottom. But also from here, it's a two-legged break. So even if this wasn't quite a double bottom, it would still be valid as a two-legged break. So considering the double bottom and the fact that we're pushing out of this trend, for the first time on this leg, this to me this just looks like a clear two-legged break, second entry, clearly holding off the highs right there. Now this was a limit order trade. Notice this red bar closing very low. It takes lower, limit order back here. And so measured move down, this blue one right here, clearly still in play. Room to the lows right here. I really liked this. Now we end up nearly reaching the overnight low here before just, pushing on out very fast. And, there's really no trades up here. It just kind of shoots on up and gets choppy, push on down out of nowhere. And so clearly when we start pushing down here, you can tell that there's a second bigger picture leg in play. And so we're pushing lower here. When we push out of the overnight low, it just gets very choppy, and then we push back in. There's no entry. You don't want to enter, right into the EMA. There's really no entry anyway. And so from here, you can see there's two pushes down. Now, that goes perfectly with this drop right here. We have downtrend, break, and then a couple attempts at a new low. But it's important to understand that this is still part of a bigger second leg. So even though you're getting a break of this leg right here and getting a couple attempts at a new low, it's still on a bigger picture in one, or excuse me, didn't mean to move that there. It's still in one leg, even with all of this movement here. So, and then notice what happens right when the measured move is met. We start going into this range. So, and it just so happens to be chopping perfectly up and down between the range. The measured move level is literally acting as a midline. So, just goes to show these measured move levels are important. They're not going to always bounce directly off of them. Like I said here, in this case, it just became basically a perfect midline of this range we're forming. So, not quite perfect midline, but very close. Now, I kind of lost where I was for a second here. Where was I? Right here. So here we make this double bottom, but it was forming this sideways structure right here. This down measured move is still in play. I wouldn't take this long, considering those two things here. We do push higher though. It looks like you could have made 1-to-1 on that maybe, but either way, it doesn't matter. It doesn't look like a good trade. And so here, I would be open to a fade back down into this range right here, but you also have to consider we could push out, get 2 clear attempts down, and that could form a big picture failed second entry to go long, which would be good as long as you have room to this trend line here. Say you push out 2 clear legs down, breakout pullback as well off of this channel here. All those things combined, that would be a great trade, but you just don't get that. You just fade down out of nowhere. Now, even though I would be open to something like that, looking for a reversal pattern, if that fails, I would also look for a fade, but there's just simply no fade setup here. And so if we had pushed lower here and gotten a couple attempts higher, staying within the range, we could have gotten a small trade, down to the overnight low level. But unfortunately, we just kind of dropped straight down. So really nothing for me. Today was kind of slow. It was kind of annoying on the setups, not really offering much. But, that's just how some days are. Now we push on lower here. Okay, just making sure I don't lose track of where I was. So, we have a couple legs down here. We attempt to fade back in here. This is just a single breakout pullback off this overnight low. It's just a first entry. You want to see 2 attempts to fade before you buy with the breakout, or in this case, go short with the breakout. So, whether you break out the highs or the lows, you want to see 2 attempts to fade before you can continue with the breakout, because most breakouts fail. That's why fades happen so often, and that's why fading is a big part of the way I trade. So if you want to buy the breakout, or in this instance here, go short with the breakout, you need 2 attempts to fade. That way you can enter on the failure, and the failures lead to big moves. So we end up just pushing lower here. No good setup, but we do push lower here. We reach that measured move. And with this wider downtrend, you are off of it right here, but that doesn't mean go long. Even though you just met this measured move, it is getting very sideways. It's right into that. It could act as a resistance level. So, we kind of just start forming this range here. What could happen is, we could get like a reversal pattern back up, possibly get something. Because at this point, I wouldn't be too worried about this measured move level. At first, I'd be worried about it, but now it's clearly proven it's not a very strong level. It's just going straight through it, acting as a midline. It's pretty typical to get 2 legs down into a range, so we could get some kind of setup on the way up to test these highs up here, like a failed second entry. And then, of course, if it holds, we can look for something on the way back down. And also, what could be good is a big 2 legs up, getting a fade of this range right here, but also a retest of this overnight low. So those are some possibilities that could happen in the next couple hours still. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I'm done trading for the day, and I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.